Hey guys, I can't believe it, but it's been a month since my last Tirzepatide shots, and this video is just gonna fill you all the way in on how things have been going. If you're new to my channel, my short story is that I was having a lot of hormonal imbalance issues and I was overweight. I have heart disease. I decided to do a GLP-1 therapy to get my body in a healthier state. I lost over 30 pounds in 6 months, and I did decide to get off of it. I weaned off of it, and I've now been off a month. I know that getting off Tirzepatide or GLP-1 will not work for everyone, especially people with chronic obesity or diabetes. My story is a little different. I did have side effects on the medication, and I do feel like my time on the GLP-1 really healed my metabolism and my hormonal health. And so I kind of just wanted to try getting off and see how it goes. I did make a lot of lifestyle changes while on my Tirzepatide journey. I switched my diet to a high protein diet, low carb, which is great for people with PCOS, which I have. I added strength training to my fitness routine. I think that's one area I was really failing. I was mainly just doing cardio, but now I do Pilates once a week and also a full body weightlifting routine once a week. And I try to move my body every single day if I can. I also do intermittent fasting. I try to just do between 14 and 16 hours, but that also helps, I think, control my hunger during the day. And here is the weight updates. So far, after 1 month off Tirzepatide, I am exactly the same. I have not gained or lost any weight. Here are some of the changes I noticed. I started just taking notes on my phone around 2 weeks after my shots because that's when I was like, all right, this is pretty out of my system. Now, I had been on it a total of 6 months, so it's probably built up in my system too, but there's not much in my system after 2 weeks on a half shot. So I was on 1.25 milligrams every other week at the ends there, which is just absolutely tiny. So after 2 weeks, not much. So I did notice I was hungrier. I definitely got hungrier. I was wanting to eat more at my meals, which isn't necessarily bad if I'm eating the right stuff. But I was wanting to eat a little bit more at my meals, particularly dinner. While on a GLP-1, I never went back for seconds, and now I kind of want to. And I'm kind of like, you know what, if it's healthy stuff I'm going back for seconds for, and I'm still doing a 14 to 16 hour intermittent fast, I think it might be okay. I did notice a couple nights intermittent fasting was a little bit harder to do. And it was days where I don't think I met my protein goals. I normally try to hit around 90 grams of protein a day if I can. And those days that I was just really, wanting to get back in the kitchen and eat after dinner, it was days where I didn't meet my protein goals during the day. I did have a cycle while off the medication, and right before I started my period and like the first few days of my period, it was just like a little bit harder to avoid like sweets or things like that. I was just craving it a little bit more. I did let myself, eat chocolate one day, which is fine, but I did try to limit it to that one day if I can. I do often shorten my intermittent fasting around that time period. It's actually suggested to do so a lot of times for women to shorten their intermittent fast around that hormonal time because of the increase in progesterone, which is great because I was hungrier during that time period. All of these things, though, it does feel more manageable now. Before I started the medication, it all felt so out of control. The cravings, the hunger. I feel like my time on the medication really helped change my habits. So because my meals are so much healthier and higher in protein, I'm less likely to snack on unhealthy things during the day. And I'm less likely to want to eat after dinner. I'm able to do the intermittent fasting. A lot of those cravings I was having for like cheesy, carb heavy things. Those are just broken. Those are kind of out of my diet. I'll still like eat pasta, but now I kind of choose that chickpea pasta or the lentil pasta. The Barilla chickpea pasta or lentil pasta are so good. And so that's not even like carb heavy. That's like super high in protein and fiber, which is great for you. These lifestyle changes I made while using this tool of the GLP-1, I think are just really still helping me. There was one night where I definitely overate at dinner. So pizza has always been kind of a trigger food for me. I just have a really hard time controlling myself. So I definitely ate like way too much, got super full, was like super bloated. But I tried to just like not beat myself up about it. I did my intermittent fast the next morning, my normal amounts, and then just kind of like got right back to it the next day. I do think I may try to avoid pizza. Like it's okay if it's a treat or whatever, but I don't want to like have that as a meal like once a week or anything, just because I have a hard time controlling myself with it. I think with trigger foods, it's really important for me to just like avoid it. So my kids love like Reese's peanut butter cups. And I know I can't just eat like one bite of a Reese's peanut butter cup. I'm going to want 4. So I try to just like avoid them kind of at all costs because they're such a trigger food for me. Which brings me in to coping strategies. These are the coping strategies that I think are helping me the most on this journey. The intermittent fasting, it's really helpful to me to have like an eating window and a non-eating window. I just don't eat after dinner and then I delay breakfast an hour or 2. And then I'm in my 14 to 16 hours. If I feel like I can go longer, I'll go all the way up to 16 hours. If I'm really hungry, I'll just at 14 hours go. If I'm starving or something, I just won't worry about it and I'll just skip that day. But intermittent fasting, I think, has been a really good tool for me to limit my intake, because it really does, like when you think about it, if you don't eat after dinner, sometimes that's eliminating a whole meal. Before I was on this journey, my bedtime snack or whatever was sometimes like 500 calories. So limiting that is really just an easy way to do it. Loading up on protein, trying to get at least 90 grams of protein a day is just so helpful. It really, really helps with satiety. If I have a high protein breakfast, I'm usually good until lunch. I'll eat a high protein lunch. I usually want a little bit of an afternoon snack. I'll eat a high protein dinner and then I'm good for the day. I do track calories and macros a little bit. I try to keep my calories under 1,600 or 1,700 a day. I just use the Lumen app since I have the Lumen. The Lumen is this metabolism device. You can blow into it. It's super cool. You can blow into it and it'll tell you if you're burning fat or calories. I love this. It's really nice for intermittent fasting too. So at like 14 hours, you can test yourself, see how you're doing. If you want to go another hour to 15 hours, see how much fat you're burning. But I really like its app for tracking my macros. I don't track every day or anything. I eat during the week pretty regular, so I kind of like know where I'm at. I did track regularly for like the first week or 2 off the meds just to like make sure I wasn't being crazy or anything. But since I eat semi-normal and I kind of know what I'm eating, I don't track as much. So I do kind of track protein throughout the day because now I just kind of know how many grams of protein are in my regular protein sources. So I do try to kind of track that one throughout the day and I kind of just do it in my head. But if I'm having a different day, like I'm traveling or it's the weekend and I'm out and about, I will sometimes just go ahead and track my whole day in the Lumen app just so that I can kind of gather what I'm eating and where I'm at. In the afternoon, I almost always have a protein bar or protein shake just because that's an easy snack and that's an easy way to up my protein levels and to hit my protein goals every day. And that way I'm not wasting a snack, if that makes sense. So I'm not just eating like veggie straws or something that kind of has no nutritional value. Then my afternoon snack I know is eating to my macro goals. Another coping strategy is eating enough during my meals. So if my meals have enough calories and protein in them, then hopefully I won't need to snack and I will be able to do my intermittent fasting relatively comfortably. If I have really small meals and they don't have a good protein source, that's when I start to get really hungry and then I need a snack and then it's all just kind of off. So if I dedicate my meals to being substantial, then my day pretty much goes much better. I also do track my cycle, and so when I know I am near my period, I maybe allow myself like a little more carbs, ease up on the intermittent fasting or anything, because I know that's that increased progesterone maybe causing my body to need me to lighten up a little bit. I do really like the once a week rule. So like if once a week I want to have M&Ms or like some sort of chocolate sweet treat or something, that's fine. If once a week I don't really do the intermittent fasting, that's fine. I kind of like the once a week because for me it's just easy to remember. It's easy to track. If like on Tuesday I was just really wanting a little bit of chocolate after dinner, that's fine. I just know I'll just try not to do that the rest of the week. If on Thursday I did not eat enough protein or whatever during out my day and I'm just starving before bed and I need like an apple or like a little snack or something, and I'm probably not going to really do intermittent fasting that day, then that's fine. But then I just kind of like try to not do it for another week. Tirzepatide was really helpful for me for my hormonal imbalance, and I do feel like I'm in a much better place with that now with my IUD and everything. I did have a cycle and I was extra hungry during it and maybe some extra cravings, but it didn't feel out of control. Inflation wise, I don't know if this is in my head or not, but I feel like my face looks like a little bit more puffy than it was. Nothing like it was like before the medication or anything. The scale is exactly the same, but in photos a couple recently, I feel like my face maybe looks a little more fuller, and I don't know if it's just in my head or not, but my face like was dramatically less puffy 1 week after starting the medication. So I think maybe my face is just like really sensitive to inflation. But really, besides my face, I haven't noticed any inflation or muscle aches or anything inflation wise. Energy wise, I feel actually more energetic off the medicine, possibly because I am eating a little more and I'm eating a little more healthy food, and possibly because these medications can cause fatigue. But I feel like energy wise, I'm actually like a little more energetic off the medicine. So far, I am happy with the way I did things. I'm happy with my 6 months of Tirzepatide, and I'm happy that I got off of it. There are some uncomfortable things, like I don't love being hungrier and having some food noise and all of that. But I also feel like my time on this medicine healed my body so much. It healed my metabolism so much. It healed my hormonal health. It helped me come up with some great coping strategies. It helped me totally change my lifestyle. My body just feels so much healthier than it did 7 months ago. And so far, I'm happy I've gotten off the meds. I think the coping strategies are being very helpful. It all feels manageable so far. I kind of decided if I don't need to be on this medicine, I don't think I want to stay on it, just because I do have side effects on it and my insurance doesn't cover it, so there is a cost. There are other medications I'm on. I have heart disease, so I have 2 different heart medicines. I'm going to be on it long term. If you're on it long term, you know, that's fine. This is just my personal journey. I do plan to continue updating you guys about how it goes. I am aware that because I was on it 6 months, which is kind of a long time, I might have some just like hanging out in my system still kind of helping me. So it will be interesting to see how I'm doing next month. I'd love if you tell me in the comments how you're doing on your GLP-1 journey, if you're planning to get off or if you're a long-termer. I love to hear people's stories. If you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in my next video.